Scandinavian Bob here, hi. I'm about to show you a really interesting graph, and once I understood this theory, it actually changed my life. Yes, it is really that powerful, so please make sure to stay with me for the whole video here, because there is a twist to the whole idea later on in the video, and what you are about to discover, well, let's just say that it might potentially change your life as well. Okay, so check this graph out. This axis to the left here is how you are feeling. The higher up, the more pleasure and the better you feel. And then the lower down we go here, the worse you feel. And here in the middle is your baseline level of happiness, pleasure, awesomeness, or whatever the heck you wanna call it. Okay, so when you present a supernormal stimulus to your body, let's take alcohol as the first example. This is what's going to happen. After a couple of drinks, the pleasure curve starts rising sharply, almost immediately. And as most of you already know, a lot of people really enjoy this stage. You sail up here way above your baseline. This is the A process in something called the opponent process theory. Now here's the deal. Your brain does not like extreme things. It does not like too much pleasure or too much pain. And I'm going to talk about the pain in just a moment, but because it doesn't like extreme things, it immediately kicks in a counter process. So you adapt pretty quickly and go down to a short plateau here, and then after a few more hours you go down even further, even below your baseline level. This counteraction process here is the B process. And I think most of you can picture this if you think about how you feel the day after a night with a few too many drinks, right? And then you slowly start feeling better as you manage to get back to your baseline levels here. But check this out. What I just told you takes place after the first few stimulation your brain is presented with. And I'll circle that here because this is important. If you keep doing this over time, the curve will start to look a lot different. So let's move a bit to the right here and take a look at what happens to you after you have been presenting your brain with many supernormal stimuli. This is what your curve will look like then. The A process will get weaker and shorter, and the B process will become stronger and deeper. And check this out. When you start to recover now, you won't quite reach up to your baseline level of happiness any longer. And this is why so many people keep going back to doing stupid things like drinking too much, using too much adult sites, gambling, binging on junk food, or playing way too much video games. They do it because they do not feel that well. They feel a void. They are below baseline. So in a desperate attempt to just try to feel normal again, they keep going back to those stimuli again, and again. Because when the A process kicks in, then they get to go back to baseline again and maybe even a bit above, albeit for a very short time, before dropping back down. So this is what desensitization of your brain's reward system looks like over time, and this is so useful to know because here comes the real kicker and something even more interesting. If we go back to the left here, remember when I said that your brain does not like extreme things like too much pleasure or too much pain? Well, this means that it works the other way around as well. So watch closely now as we switch the sides for the pain and the pleasure on the left axis here. And we put the painful feeling up here and the good feelings down here. Okay, great. So now, if we present the brain with something quite painful, like for example high intensity interval training or a cold shower, then you will feel very uncomfortable in the moment and you instantly go very high up here on the pain curve, which is now the A process here. But then after the cold shower, as the B process kicks in, you will start feeling great. So this is the exact opposite to an addiction, but it gets even better because it does not end here. You see, just like with the super stimuli, the first curve here is showing how your brain responds to the first few times. And now comes something real interesting here. If we then move to the right here and take a look at how you will start responding to cold showers or high intensity exercise over time, then you can see that you will start experiencing a bit less pain in the moment, during your cold shower. But here too, just like with the supernormal stimuli, the B process will get stronger. And this means you will start feeling even better after they are done. And here's the final nail in the coffin. When the B process ends, you can see that you will end up on this side of your baseline. In other words, by regularly taking cold showers or doing high intensity physical exercise, you have changed your feeling good set point, and you now feel good most of the time. It is exactly the opposite of an addiction. Pretty cool, huh? And so what's the real takeaway here? Well, two things. The first one is, if you have been blasting your brain's reward system with way too much supernormal stimuli, you can actually help reverse that damage on a biological level by, for example, taking cold showers. And second, if you feel kind of bad today and you are now contemplating buying some beer in order to get some relief for a while, what the hell are you doing? Go for a run instead and then finish off with an ice cold shower. Don't you get it? If you want to change the way you feel, the first one doesn't work, but the second one actually does. Alright, I hope you found this informative. If you want to help me grow this channel, you can always buy me a cup of coffee using the link under this video. This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today, and remember, if you are going through hell, take a cold shower.